in terms of vocabulary, maybe very good at grammar, but if you're not trainable, you're not going to make it big. So that was the section I focused on. I believe you did that with the least of attention, but some of you, of course, wrote beautifully everything. Like it was a brief introduction, very easy sentences, but that gives us a very fair idea of what you are and what you can become. So that was the real basis of selection. But at the same time, the other sections of grammar and vocabulary are equally important. They were also seen, and we, of course, checked that as well. So now the idea is we are living our lives with a purpose. I have a purpose, you have a purpose. And your purpose now, we have three different kinds of goals. One is called a short-term goal and a long-term goal. Your short-term goal is to be able to take your exams confidently. You must feel motivated, and that motivation comes through preparation. Your preparedness makes you motivated. So now the point is, we started, I'll just take 2-3 more minutes, in fact, and after that we'll start to give you the technicalities of the club. So this is my brainchild, I must say, and I thought of doing something big for the students. Very powerful. So we started with something like Readers Club, and my main idea in the mind was to help you with the best and the right kind of English for your examination. But later on, we had meetings with Sir and with Upadhyaya Sir, Surdev Sir, Rakesh Sir, all the other teachers of the institute. We should not call them faculty. Faculty is the department. I can be a faculty member, but I cannot be a faculty in myself. Or the whole team of teachers can be termed faculty. Forget it. So I said that only English is not, of course, going to help you much. Though through this, exercise of Readers Club, you'll be working on your communication skills. It will be helping you in developing your personality and enhancing your knowledge. And it will give you the feeling of a real aspirant. Like you feel that, okay, sometimes when I tell the world that I'm preparing for a particular examination, my heart knows the reality. I just tell the world that I am preparing, but the reality is something else. My heart says that I'm not, preparing actually. I'm simply attending my classes, and I'm not in the fray. In an election, when an election is held, from one constituency, maybe for one seat, there are 50 candidates. But the candidates also know that I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to be successful. So some of them, maybe 2 or 3 of them are called the real or genuine candidates, where you see the contest. It is said that they are in the fray, F-R-A-Y, in the fight. So now the purpose of the club is to make you feel and give you a platform from where you can be in the fray. You must feel within that I'm really preparing for the examination, and I'm capable of that. I'm doing the right things. So later on, as I said, we thought of it, and we thought that, okay, we should be making it a complete club for complete support. So with English, we'll be working on your reasoning and mathematics as well, but sirs are not ready with their presentation today. I'm here. So later on, of course, once we start the activity, we'll be working on what our plans are for your mathematics and what our plans are for reasoning and other subjects. One thing, how do you define democracy? I hope you know the definition of by the people and of the people and for the people. So the motto of club is, or the definition of the club is, by the students, of the students, and for the students. We'll be here as just as guides. The recent and the most recent definition of a teacher is a guide by the side. So we'll not be teaching you. It is not going to be another class for you. That you come, attend your classes, I'll teach and go back, you will go back. So if you are thinking of this kind, of something of this kind, you're mistaken badly. So the point is, it is going to be a different thing. I hope you're not tired. Are you tired? Feel that energy, okay? So welcome to induction ceremony. Today is 17th August 2022. It's going to be a life-changing experience for you. The first thing that I want to tell you is we have selected a total of 23 members. by count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. The remaining 5 who are absent without information are not going to be a part of this batch. In any case, if you're absent, it means or without information, you are highly indisciplined. And this is something that I will never tolerate in the club. So the 5 who are not here today, they see their names. You will never see them in the club. This is point number 1. Correct? Never means never in life. Even if they go to sir and ask him to tell me to take you, I will be saying sorry to sir even. Because you are not serious. Your absence proves that you are not serious about it. You are taking it for granted. And I cannot tolerate this particular thing, that if you take me or my plans or our plans for granted. So can you please see your names? Your name is Priti on top. Priyanshi, can you see your name? Okay. Rishabh, you can see your name? Okay, so you can see your name here? Okay, you can see your name? Prashant, can you see your name? Akhand? Adit? Oh, your name is there? Okay. Okay. Your name is there? Abhijit. Akash. Speak again. Kash. How do you write this? With Shah. So Shah. It's Shah. Akash. Okay. So the 5 who are not here, can you please note down the names of the students who are not here? Once I heard a big scholar of India, like, can you, okay, you have written the names, okay. Thank you. No need to write the names of the absentees. So this is, I told you that this thing so strongly that they're not going to be a part of this club, not because I'm angry. I just want to tell you how we are going to go about it. So that this point is going to be number 1, that if we have planned something, we will do that particular thing come what may. No concession will be given to anybody who's insincere about this. Now, we will be talking about, I love this quote. Can you please read this? This is Abraham Lincoln, a big failure in his life, but ultimately he never lost hope. He worked hard. And when you're honest, so failing, of course, is not a big crime. Giving up is a big crime. I have failed many times in my life. I have wasted a lot of money. I have wasted a lot of ruined so many relations, in fact, in my life. I have trusted people. But sometimes and every time you don't get the thing what you give to the world. It is said, what goes around comes around. But I don't agree much to this, because I have given honesty to the world. I have not got it back. But I feel that people like Abraham Lincoln and many other people of this kind, maybe Thomas Alva Edison, and many hundreds of people of this kind, are very good examples and very good motivation for us. They can be big inspiration for us, that they can, of course, manage to live their lives after so many big failures. And ultimately, Abraham Lincoln, if I ask you to name 5 presidents of America, I hope you'll not be able to name many more than 5. And if you name 5, one of them will be this, isn't it? We have so many, around more than 50. So how he became so important, so popular, it is because of the uniqueness he had, that strength in character. That's a very big thing. Can you read this? He says, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. This is an important thing. This is the power of preparation and planning. So if you're not planning well, if you're not making or readying your tools well, you're not going to make it. So this is how on 6 hours, and he says he'll be spending 4 hours in sharpening the axe. This is the importance of planning. And it is not said by me or somebody, a layman like who's just moving on the roads of Ranchi. It is said by somebody who has proved to the world that achievements or success can be achieved even after a series of big failures. So this is the importance, and you should, I believe I'll be sharing the PPT with you as well. I want you to keep these things. So planning has a very important role in your preparation. Somebody said a goal without a plan is just a wish. If you have a goal and no planning, you just wish. You have a wish, and wishes cannot be, fulfilled. Wishes become goals when you plan for them. So this club is basically based on the idea of planning and execution. Planning alone is not going to do much once again. So how is the quote, by the way? You find it effective, very inspiring. So this is an important thing. What happened, my dear students? Like, we've been taught since our childhood. We have not been trained. Correct? The personality development that we generally talk about is not in the dress that I wear. Personality development is not in the way I look. I may go to a very big salon and come back after a very beautiful facial and good, beautiful trimming of my beard, but that does not improve my personality. My personality is something which is here, inside it. This must be beautified. This must be strengthened. This must be given the right kind of food, the knowledge. So this is an important thing. So I hope you understand how important the planning is. And if we plan things for you, I would expect everyone to be very serious about it, executing everything to the last letter. Everything must be done. Hope you understand, everybody. I hope I'm not boring you. Okay. So after speaking so much about plans, we have a plan for you. And the plan is about English, the language I believe I love the most, the language that gives me my bread and butter, the language that I teach, the language I speak about many times every day. So this is going to be a plan for your English. So understand one thing, you may be repeating certain things. You may be repeating certain things that you have done already. Maybe you'll be doing it at a very fast speed, but you may be repeating certain things. So the first thing is this. We'll be working on our grammar and usage. We'll be working on our vocabulary. We'll be working on our reading skills, writing skills, and speaking skills. Remember that everything will be done by the students. We'll be there with you only as guides. So club will be run by students of the institute, and we are just there to guide you, to help you how to, make it a meaningful club. It should not be just another thing in your life. It has to be a beautiful, big addition to whatever you have today. So these are the areas we'll be working on. A similar kind of presentation will be given to you on mathematics and reasoning as well very soon. And then go up. This is a new book. This is a book specially designed for students who are preparing for competitive exams. You have heard of Wren and Martin. It's a very old book. But this is an addition, a new edition it is in fact. Can you read the name? English for Competitive Examinations. It is available online. We'll keep some copies of this book in the library as well. Maybe 5 copies of it. So we will be doing everything about it. We'll start with chapter number 1 and do everything, each and every exercise. The concepts, the exercises, the rules, even if you come across a new word, when the definition is given, that word will also be learnt. We'll look up the word in the dictionary and make sure, once I say that I have done this book, I should prove to the world that I have done this book. Means from any area, from any chapter, from any exercise, if I'm asked anything, I should be able to answer that particular thing. So this is going to, I tell you, Wren and Martin, some of the teachers, some of my colleagues, in fact, say, it's not a very good book. I believe it is a book that everybody cannot teach. And I believe it is a book that everybody cannot understand. Because the examples there are highly, very, very, they have been taken from big books of literature. If you don't understand Shakespeare well, you won't be able to understand the examples given in the book. So just to avoid, if I ask you to read this book, of course, if you have a doubt, you'll come to me. So if I'm not confident about my own knowledge, I'll never ask you to read this book. I'll say it's not a good book. Read my book in Hindi medium. Why should I read English books in Hindi medium? This is point number 1. So this is kind of a placebo, a wrong medicine to a disease. So why should I ever give you something that is not going to help you much? So this placebo effect is a bad thing, that you feel that you're being treated, but you're not actually. So this is one thing that we will be doing this particular book, and I want you to note down questions if it is coming to your mind, any. So later on at the end of the session, we will be, can you please go up? I don't know. Come down. This is maybe, yeah. Have you heard of this book? A very, very famous book. People who prepare for big exams like GMAT, GRE, CAT, correct? They do this book. And this book, they claim that it is a book of vocabulary. I tell you, it is a book that teaches you complete English. It gives you the insight into the language. It teaches you grammar. It teaches you words. It teaches you how to learn things. It teaches you how to understand things. It teaches you how to use the most appropriate word in a particular situation. So this is going to be a book for our vocabulary. One of the sources, of course, for vocab. And I tell you one more thing, that don't ever think that these things are going to help you in your examination only. Your examination will be 100% in your control. 100% means 100%. But the point is, English as a language will help you all through your life. Correct? So the better it is, the higher and brighter chances you have in future to live a more successful life. Correct? So this is the book that we will be doing. You don't need to note down the names. I'll share the PPT with my group. So we have created that WhatsApp group. This is one more thing. And then this is going to be a fantastic experience for every one of us. This is for reading skills, the Hindu editorial analysis. Sir has been a very strong advocate of this. Once, when I met him first, he showed me an article on which he had worked. So you remember that, I hope. And the plans for you. But we were just, repenting the fact that the thing that we want to give to the world, takers are not there. Givers are there. Takers are not there. Because you have not been shown the right path. Correct? How many students you think go to coaching institutes every morning in Ranchi alone? Not less than 50,000. If I'm not wrong, sir. Not less than 50. I just want to say more than a lakh. But how many of them get success? A very meager, highly negligible number. A number that cannot be mentioned even. So when something goes wrong, I ask my students to do one thing, that is www. It's not World Wide Web. My www is what went wrong. Correct? Whenever you fail, if you get a common error question as you came to us today, so you should know the concept. You should not be focused on that particular question. You have to focus on the concept on which the error is there. So that approach will, of course, help you become a different material altogether. The exams will become a very, very easy thing for you, I tell you. So I was telling you that these newspaper Hindu editorial analysis, imagine you are doing this. You have the screen, like editorial here on the screen. You have read it. How you will do it, how we will do it, we'll tell you everything in detail very soon. But this will be a permanent thing, and in our days to come, maybe in 5 months' time, I would ask you to do not less than 100 articles. There is a thing called paradigm shift or orbital change. We are in the outermost orbit, correct? Moving. We have to be in the nucleus. And this is possible when we are jumping from one orbit to the other. And these are the forces, the impetus, the energy that you need to move from one orbit to the other. And finally, you are there in the nucleus. I tell you, I have the experience of running clubs, and 100% people, what I said, 100%. And I'm not a liar. Correct? If you fail today, maybe suppose you are taking the test examination to this year, maybe the nearest exam, maybe out of 24, 23, 18, maybe 14 of you succeed. The 4 who failed in that examination are bound to pass in the next. That will be your preparedness. That will be your preparedness. So this is going to be, and one more thing, that you need to have faith in the system. You need to have faith in the system. You need to be working as a part of the system. If you're not there working as a part, of course, you'll be spoiling the whole system. And that wrong material, correct, inappropriate part of the system will be removed, of course. It is not a threatening kind of thing. I'm just telling you to be sincere about everything. So how many editorial articles we are going to do? 101. And the whole process of doing it will be taught. And I tell you, after doing 2-3, you will be a person with a different outlook for your reading skills, for your grammar. Only after 3-4 articles, I tell you. Because we are going to do everything in the right test, in the best possible way, in the right way. Then, for our, what do I do? Many a slip between the cup and the lip. Perhaps my hand is not appropriate for this. You need the latest brand of it. We have old hands, non-technical. So this is another thing, mock tests. We will be holding, means here there will be, one of you will be the chairperson of the club for 1 week. And this chairperson host will be rotating every week. And that fellow will decide the whole week, like he'll plan or she'll plan all activities of the week, how much from grammar, how much from vocabulary, how much from reading, and how many tests. So the tests will be reflecting your real preparation. And these tests will be real tests. You have online test facility also. You're taking the test, anyone? Have you taken, everybody, the test here? You take every day? Yeah. Okay, no, from us. Okay. So you can take from, you take other tests. Okay, very good. But we will have a common one. It could be any. And we will have a common test series. And the test series, in the test, suppose I'm the chairperson of this club, I'll be choosing the question, maybe with the help of the teachers, a full-length test. You will take the test in absolutely examination atmosphere. The start time, finish time, and everything, all preparation. And after that test is over, you, the person who's the chairperson of the club for that week, will be discussing all the questions with the students. Imagine you are giving discussion. So the depth of knowledge, it means it will settle in every concept. You're talking about something in English or grammar, maybe reasoning or mathematics. So if you are teaching, in fact, you are taking a class that the students will be raising counter questions and you are able to handle them. It's kind of cooperation. We are not going to insult anyone. That, okay, you could not do it well. If I fall, you will support me. If you fall, we will support you. So it will be a complete idea based on cooperation and coordination. Correct? I'll tell you a story, a beautiful one on the idea of cooperation and coordination. How does it go up, sir? So every week there will be 2 mock tests. Correct? Pre, mains, we'll decide everything later on. Then the real idea of personality development, correct, is through doing everything. We will be, suppose, can you talk of a recent policy of the government, any policy in any sector? Agniveer Yojana, very good. Anything else? Think of an older one as well. You'll think of a policy. Did you hear the Prime Minister's address from the Red Fort on the 15th of August? Any new promises? Okay, within 5 years. What? Within 25 years. So it's a long-term goal, in fact. When we were kids, we always heard about Vision 2020. And people told us that by 2020, India will have become a superpower. Correct? So this is, I believe, a kind of things. Should I check? Hello? I'm busy a bit. Can I call you back sometime? Okay. Okay. So what I was telling you, this is called. So that never happened, but correct. We were asked to read a book written by APJ Abdul Kalam, and we did all the things, and we had a vision and the hope also that by 2020 we'll become America. But I believe I am that India which has to become an America. You are that India which has to become an America. So we cannot expect and hope everything from the government of our country. We know their limitations also, correct? If they can't, if they don't make false promises, they'll not be elected. So this is a problem with them. This is the mechanism how you win elections in a democratic country. But forget it. Let's not talk about anything negative. So this is going to be a life-changing experience for you. Presentation on whatever you read in the Hindu. Correct? Editorial articles are based on current affairs. So you come and speak from here using the podium maybe. Talk to your friends. And then you handle questions. At the end of every presentation, there will be a question answer session. So your preparation, and it is not going to be a burden on you, I tell you. It is not going to be a burden. It will never disturb, come in your way of preparation, I tell you. So everything is designed so well that nothing is going to, disturb your plan of your college maybe or other subjects. So no, don't ever worry about doing this many things. It will happen in no time. As it happened in no time, the Independence Day celebration, it happened only in 2 days' time. It was very successful. Then we have this is a problem. Okay. This again is an important thing. Okay, one finger. So excess of everything is bad. 5 fingers in place of one, of course, will not help you. Can you read this? Group discussions. This again is going to be a big support in everything. It is not only about your English speaking skills. It's also about maybe we'll have a group discussion on geometry. We'll have a group discussion on maybe blood relation in reasoning. So topics will be decided. I'll guide you how you can manage your group discussion in the most productive way. That one discussion, maybe it is a kind of knowledge sharing program. There is certain things that I know if I'm in the group, I'll be sharing my knowledge with you. And when friends talk, there's no, shame or hesitation in asking or telling. My English is very poor, but if I'm talking to my friends, I will not worry much about my grammar or vocabulary. I'll just speak whatever comes to my mind. So the point is, these group discussions again are going to, in some examination, you have to face interview as well. In some exams, you have to sit for group discussion as well. You can think of other exams also. I'm just thinking of you as somebody taking an international level examination. Correct? After getting the first job here in India, you can still move ahead, move forward. So this is one more thing that we will be doing. Sorry. Okay, thank you so much, sir. This is called doubt clearing. Thank you so much. Very appropriate doubt. So this is one more thing. This will be a support from your teachers. We have promised 12 hours support every day. From 7 in the morning to 7 evening, all the teachers will be there, but try to give them less of burden. From 7 to 2 for sure. So we will be helping you out of every difficulty you are in. We means the whole team is behind you. The whole team is everybody, teaching, non-teaching, everybody here will be helping you. We are going to give you intensive care. Correct? Intensive care in every term. And so this is something that we have to do. In the classroom also we do these things. But it's quite, it's in a general sense. Once I finish my topic, I say, do you have any doubts? So majority of the students have doubts, but they don't have the guts to raise their hand and ask me. This is a problem I know that they have. When they come to me or when I go to them, I understand that they are very weak in any particular subject. So this will be going to be a permanent thing. You have to find out doubts Maybe if you're not getting it in the book or in the test that you're taking, you have to find out doubts from other sources. Think of the doubts, possible doubts. Imagine those questions. Because competitive examinations are absolutely unpredictable. You have to be ready for something absolutely unseen, unknown. Correct? So that is also going to be a big thing. After the end of every topic, we will have a session on doubt clearing. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying this. See, this small change. I remember there was a player of Indian cricket team, Mohammad Azharuddin. Have you heard of him? What was his biggest achievement? You know, he was a very good fielder, very big, very active and bust. And then after that, we got Jonty Rhodes. So there were fielders of high class. He was a very good batsman. So when Azharuddin came to Indian cricket team, he played the first test and made a century. He played the second test and made a century. He played the third test and made a century. Correct? So 3 consecutive centuries in 3 consecutive matches made Azharuddin. But he once went to Pakistan, and there is another player called Zahir Abbas of Pakistan. So he taught him, he asked him to change his holding, technique, bat holding technique a bit. Thoda sa aisa tum karna. And Azharuddin, the hype, that big player says that after that small tip from Zahir Abbas, I've become a much better batsman. So sometimes a very small tip, a very small support can bring about a big change that you cannot think of. So there should not be any shame in asking. I was asking every time. So sir ultimately understood my problem, the pain I had. And he gave me a small tip. It is just an example, I tell you, a live example. Sometimes what happens when you want to do something big, there's a dialogue also. कि अगर आप कुछ ईमानदारी से चाहते हैं तो पूरी कायनात. So that is not a dialogue, that's a sentence from The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. It is a book. From there they have either stolen it or maybe with their permission they have taken it. It is called plagiarism. When you tell somebody else's work as yours, that I have written this. So this is called theft. Literally, it is a theft of literature. Very. So this again, sorry, we were talking about this. And then we have in certain examinations, you have to take care of descriptive paper. You know this? So that is not a big thing at all. Nothing is big at all, in fact, if you have a proper plan and good mentors. Correct? So you have mentors, very good ones. So in writing skills also, how do you write, by the way? For example, if I ask you to write on elephants, or anything, any topic for that matter, maybe demonetization, or maybe Agni. So when a topic is given to you, there is a kind of brainstorming, correct? Many ideas start coming. But the point is, ideas will come only when you have read certain things. If I ask, you know Hindi well, your English is also good, I've tested you. So, and that's why I have the guts to speak to you in English all through. If I ask you to speak about my grandfather, 2 sentences about my Kathy Sir's grandfather. Your Hindi or English is good. Can you speak 2 sentences about it? No. Why? Because you don't have the knowledge. That is a big thing. The students come to me, sir, how to write an essay. If you ask me to write, my English is good, I can write. But if you give me a topic that I don't know at all, I will not be able to write well. So writing techniques or skills are taught to students who have gathered enough knowledge to process and write in his own words or in his own way. So this is also a technique that you have to learn. It is not going to happen overnight. That today I'm not a writer, tomorrow I am a writer. It is not going to happen in any way. So this is again a beautiful thing, and I'll be taking care of every technique that you need to understand and learn. Before we end, or I end my talk, I just want you to read this. Correct? It says the 2 most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. The purpose of life. And life should be segmented. You are in the student's life. So your purpose of life at this age, at this juncture, if you know it well, I tell you, crores of people, I'm not talking about lakhs, with a lot of potential fail and they are ruined just because they don't know what they can do. They don't get proper guide and mentors. They don't get the right environment. So this is something makes my heart ache. It aches really. I feel that ache in my heart. That people potentially very successful remain an unsuccessful person all through his life just because they don't get the right people, the right connection, the right environment. So I promise people who are in Ranchi, those who come in our connection with career power, I tell you, they will never repent about not getting the right people in the right time. So this is one important thing. So today, everybody will sit down when you go back home, and you have to write a proper introduction of yours, doing a proper analysis. Start with crude writing. Crude means very rough, unfiltered, correct? But you have to start doing this. This writing will help you understand who you are. I know Dhoni well, I know Modi well, I know Rahul well, I don't know myself at all. It happens. And that is why in the interviews they ask you to talk about yourself and you fail. You say, sir, my name is Abdullah. You start telling your name. You start telling all the wrong things that you should not have told in the interview. Because we have never sat down and introspected. Introspection is something that we never do. So the thing is, my dear children, I know the pain of realizing the right things after you have crossed the age. I know my abilities well. If I had sat for UPSC once, I would have cracked it. I know my knowledge well. I know my understanding well. I know my ability to understand things well. But I never got that environment. My teachers never bothered to tell me what I could do. We are wasted material. But thankfully, I've become a teacher with an idea that if a person becomes my student, at least he will have a reason to think about his student life in a very nice way, that I had at least one. I can make sure that I'll be there. I'll be a person for you whom you can remember after, even if it means after we are disconnected. So don't ever let yourself be fooled into thinking that you're nothing. Correct? So this is one thing. I want to see Priti DM of Pukat after you get a job here in SSC, CGL or banking. I want to see Resham, the SP of Lohardaga, maybe one thing. I want to see Abhijit, and I'm naming everybody. She said her name is Resham, so it is in my mind. So I want you to think of something much bigger than what you are thinking about yourself right now. Correct? And that is possible. Make your parents proud and make the world proud of you. Correct? And with this, my talk is over. If you have any questions, and I tell you that the club has many, it is a multi-dimensional activity. There will be certain things that will come to know only when you start doing everything. Correct? So this is just the beginning, a brief introduction to what we are going to do in the club activities. Still, if you have any questions. Any questions, please? Where to start from? We'll be making everything available. Like we need 5 copies of Ren and Martinson. We need newspaper, the Hindu. Correct? No, that is what we have got to do. Online newspaper, we need hard copies of everything. We have to work on it. Correct? So we will be, you have to take the newspaper and